children, they're not naturally inclined to bad. You ask a question. Why is it that it is easier for us to be liking bad things instead of good things? Hadith al-Sharif is saying, what?
The way to Jannah is paved with the difficulty, difficult
Right.
things, and the way to Jahannam is paved with things that are desirable or
There are
attractive.
things that are desirable or attractive. Bismillah ar-Rahman, understood madad. There are things that are bad. It is not in our natural inclination to like it. It is not. Look at the bad things. Anger and jealousy, arrogance and stubbornness. Look at the bad things. It's bad for you physically or mentally. And things that are bad for others. We're not inclined towards this. We're not pulled towards this. What are we? If you say that you are your ego and you are your desires, then you will be pulled. But we are not our ego and our desire. We are the spirit. Ego and desire is put there. And the spirit is not inclined towards these things. And no matter how much a person also is burying his spirit and he's diving into pleasures and treasures of this world, you mean to tell me that it never crosses his mind or his heart that all this is fake? All this is undesirable? All this will end and all this is unreal? It's not? Of course it is. The spirit is here, but the spirit is hidden. Correct. Because Allah has put the ego with us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us into this world. And He has put the desires and the inclinations of those desires. And He has put shaitan. So we have four enemies. And the spirit is there. And we are in dunya. We are not having these four enemies in Jannat. You understand? If you have all these four enemies in Jannat, what would be easier, you think? Of course, to follow the spirit. But because you have all these four enemies in this dunya, then that time, if we are burying our, take these kids, put them over there for a second. Later, we will, just for right now, sohbat is going on. Later we will play with them. So, kids are innocent. They are like a blank sheet of paper. What you write there, it is going to stay. And what you imprint, that is what they're going to get used to. There is also what they carry from their lineage, that is also there. So it's not just their experience, but what is also in their lineage and what is also given to them by takdir, that is there. But still, children don't look so much today's children. When they are raised in very egoistic, and I don't mean poor conditions, I mean egoistic conditions, where for a very young age they imprinted with the ego and with the desire for this world and for their enjoying of this life and their selfishness. But look to see now, even children, they are not inclined towards evil. They know what is shame and what is not. We still have that. We still have that. When you are young, it's like writing in stone. But when you're old, it's like writing on water. But we still have that. And the prophets, they are coming, and with the saints, they are coming to make us to become more aware of this innocent part of ourselves. Yesterday we were talking about original innocence, not original sin. To bring out this original innocence, because this is our ruh, this is our spirit. When a man starts to recognize his spirit, that time he'll start to see this world as it is. He will start to see his pleasures and his desires as they are. He starts to understand shaitan. He starts to understand his ego. You understand? Now, once he starts understanding it, then there is going to be a fight. Because the ego is going to say, you've been submitting to me all these years. Now you found haqq and you found someone teaching you haqq and you want to take away power. No, I'm not going to let you. Yes, you're saying, I must. Now this is a fighting. This fighting is called Jihadul Akbar. When do you stop fighting? You stop fighting when finally you submit to Allah. That time, what the awliya Allah, they're calling fana. When the river, it is traveling, it is making so much noise. But it's not too much. But once it reaches to the ocean, it just submits and it becomes really silent and deep. To reach to that level, that is a level of what? A mu'min, a believer. Now the believer, following in the footsteps of the Prophet, following in the footsteps of the awliya Allah, they're not going to worry. They're not going to grieve. Difficulties may come, but it is not changing who they are, because they know that it is coming from Allah. They are not going to let that to shake their belief, because they have belief. We are still humans. We feel sad, we feel this, we feel that, but we are not going to make this to shape us way before, maybe. From our anger and from our desire to revenge, it will guide our lives. How many people, because of their desire, that desire is guiding their lives? How many people, because of the anger, it is guiding their life? Correct? How many people, because of this, the egoistic tendency, the ego is guiding their life? How many people, they don't care about nothing, but they just want to make a mischief, and shaitan is guiding their life? For them, it is very easy now. It is very easy. Because they are in their element. You are in the dunya and you're surrounding yourselves with ahli dunya. You're with your ego and you're surrounding yourself with ahli nafs. You're with shaitan, you surround yourself with ahli shaitans. Both in the shaitans as a jinn and shaitan as a man, as the ayat it is saying. But once you start thinking, once you start making tafakkur, once you start understanding, and you're looking at things slightly differently, and for this, everyone goes through it. Everyone starts questioning, what is this life for? Why am I here for? What does this mean? I'm doing this all my life. What does this mean? Everybody gets so excited about what? About matrix, correct? They write spiritual treatises about matrix, subhanallah. But what your Prophet and the awliya Allah has said for 1400 years continuously, you don't get too much excited. But when kafir just take 1% of the haqq and then mix it up with 99% batil, they get very, very excited. We should stop drinking from polluted waters. It is interesting that they take something, yes, but we shouldn't go there to drink, because we have been offered to drink from the purest sources. We should have faith. So because we are in this world, and because you're surrounding yourselves with all these evil qualities, then it is easy. But if you are surrounding yourself with ahli zikr, you're surrounding yourselves with the rijal Allah, you're surrounding yourselves with awliya Allah, you're surrounding yourselves with siddiqs, you're surrounding yourselves with salihin, which is an order. Allah is saying, be with the salihin. Do you think that time it is so easy for you to commit wrong actions or to do wrong things? Is it easy or no? It's not. And even if you slip, you do wrong actions, you will feel so much shame. There's no enjoyment from it at all. That it is difficult. Which is why it is important for zikr, to make a zikr, and to be with the ahli zikr. Because when you make a zikr, it is a garden of paradise. And in the garden of paradise, you will understand what is clean and what is dirty, beginning with yourself. And even if it is something small, dirty, it will be very clear. Because truth is distinct from falsehood. It will be very clear. And you are not going to sit there and just let it. You're going to work on yourself. You don't want to work on yourself, but because you are surrounded by ahli zikr, they will work on you. Sometimes easy way, sometimes very hard way. But they will work on you. And this is what tasawwuf is. To work. Tasawwuf is not to sit and to think about our spiritual stations. Tasawwuf is to understand our ego and to understand the evil of our ego and to remove those veils, especially in the Nakshibendi tariqah. It is not our business what is revealed after those veils. We don't concentrate on what is being revealed after those veils are removed. That is Allah's business. Our business is to remove the veils. There are some, they're just concentrating on what is behind those veils. But we're looking, what they're concentrating on is illusion and delusion. Or something that they just read from here and there, some old books, and they're just passing it off as their own. You know, in the dunya, there is a law against plagiarism. You think in the spiritual world, there is no law against stealing other things and saying it is from you. Knowledge, the best of knowledge is the knowledge that you experience. And if you pass off knowledge that you have not experienced, and it's someone else's experience, but you make it like it is your experience, it's very bad. You're showing people what lies behind the veils, but the one sitting in front of you is not even understanding that there are veils. Our work is to understand what those veils are and to remove them. So, the man's religion is according to his friends. Isn't that what Hazrat Ali from the Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying? So if you're with Ahli Dunya and Ahli Nafs, very easy to commit everything. You are inclined towards the evil, and it's going to be very difficult for you to get to paradise, very easy for you to go to the hellfire. But if you're surrounding yourselves with the Ahli Zikr, with the Siddiqs and with the Salihin, even if you want to, it is very difficult for you to do wrong things. Because now there's armor everywhere. You're wearing Islamic clothes, there is one armor. You're keeping a sunnat, there is another armor. You're speaking always with inshallah, mashallah, subhanallah, there is an armor. Now you cannot, with these armors, go into places where it is just filled with dunya. We're not talking about work. We're talking about where you want to spend your time with your friends. You understand? Now those who have not found really their way, one day they're like this, one day they're like that, they are still like that river that is just gurgling and pushing and swishing, making so much noise. But what is a river compared to the ocean? They will keep on until you reach to the ocean. Once you see the ocean, you must stop. So, this is not 50-50 that Allah has put. 50% ego, 50% spirit. It is not 50-50. This is not good angel, bad angel, and we are stuck in the middle. Our identity is not our ego. Our identity is our spirit. Spirit wants to do something, but it's tied up. You understand? We want to do something, our hands is tied up, the other hand is tied up, leg is tied up, this is tied up, our tongue is tied up. They fool our eyes. We cannot move. The intention is pushed all the way down. So now just the evil and the ego is going to animate us. Allah is saying, cut those ties. Now push the ego, step on the ego. And once you step on the ego, you'll be granted more power in this dunya and in the akhirat. We were speaking before. We have one murid who just took bayat recently. He was very happy, and he said he witnessed an open miracle from Shaykh Maulana, from Shaykh Efendi. He is saying he knows one person who is just saying bad things about Shaykh Efendi, saying, oh, what a big belly he has, continuously. And he's saying, and now this person, he has a sickness, and his belly is very huge, and he's suffering from it. Like what Shaykh Efendi says, don't look to this bald head. Look to who owns this bald head. This bald head has an owner. It is not. Awliya Allah, they don't curse anyone. But Awliya Allah, they have an owner. We have an owner. The owner may not like it. Whatever people are doing. So whatever that they are saying about Shaykh Effendi, they're now saying about me. It's okay. Because more they speak, more heavy burdens they are taking from us. And maybe we have so many burdens that they are carrying. Free, you can take. I'm just happy that we are following Shaykh Efendi's way. So, as much is enough for a person who has understanding. So, a man's religion is according to his friends. So make good friends. Keep yourself surrounded by good friends. That is the ending of the khutbah, no? What a good friend you have. That just by sitting with a good friend on the day of judgment, that will be not only a sawab for you, a reward for you, but it may be an intercession for you. Because that is the day when the mercy it is raining. But only for those who are merciful and those who are living with that mercy and those who love the mercy to all of creation, rahmatul lil alameen, and those who love his awliya. Otherwise, cannot. You don't believe in mercy, you don't believe in intercession, you will not get intercession. May Allah protect us from that, because even the prophets, they're going to beg for intercession on the day of judgment, even the prophets. And we are seeing so many. They don't believe in tawassul. They don't believe in shafaat. They bring so many people into Islam. It's like they're saying, you take them from the frying pan into the fire. You understand? We are not judging them. They have judged themselves. We are not saying you are going to go to the fire. But if a man jumps into the fire, we say, look at your condition. The man who refuses tawassul and shafaat, he's already putting himself in the fire. We are not putting him in the fire. We're not saying, oh, you don't believe you're going to go to hell. We're saying, you don't believe, it is up to you. But if you don't believe, Allah and His Prophet has already said, your place is not going to be good for you. May Allah protect us from that, inshallah. So make your choices very strongly, especially in this month. If you have not understood your ego, if you have not sat down to make tafakkur and to really understand your ego and your shaitan, your dunya and your desires, that time the seclusion will be very dangerous for you. Because if you cannot tell it apart and fix it, that time you make seclusion with your ego and with shaitan, and they can open so many things for you. But it is going to be very dangerous for you. One of our grand sheikhs said that. What did he say? The man who is not ready to go into seclusion unless he says, and he believes that by going into seclusion, he's saving the world from his own evil. Who goes into seclusion thinking he's evil? People go into seclusion thinking they're already saints. May Allah protect us, inshallah. But, of course, if there is an order for it, it's different. If there's an order for seclusion, and those are the ones responsible. This is what we are responsible for, to be careful. Sit and understand, make tafakkur. Whatever that you do, doesn't matter if it's seclusion or hajj or zikr or prayers, go with the right intention. If you make all these actions with the wrong intention, then it's going to be wrong. وَمِنَ اللَّهِ تَوْفِقْ حُرْمَةِ الْحَبِيبِ وَمَةِ الْفَاتِحَةِ. Amin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.